Hey sis, let's be honest for a second. Women are taught how to love everybody, our parents, our partners, our children, our church, our job, our community. But nobody really teaches us how to love ourselves. It feels as if we're doing something wrong. Because the moment you start choosing you, somebody somewhere will whisper, is she not becoming selfish? Is she not too much? Who does she think she is? Meanwhile, the world is busy profiting from your insecurity. There is an entire industry built on convincing you that you are not enough. Not slim enough, not soft enough, not spiritual enough, not married enough, not doing enough, sis. If insecurity were a business, it is a billionaire. So today, let's talk about self-love without guilt. Not the Instagram version, not the, bubble bath only version. The real grown woman kind. Let's start here. Self-care is not the same thing as self-discipline. Self-care says, I deserve rest. Self-discipline says, I deserve growth. Self-care is taking a break when you're exhausted. Self discipline is doing the hard thing when you'd rather scroll. Self care is logging out when your mind is overwhelmed. Self discipline is going to therapy, setting boundaries, and keeping promises to yourself. Both are love, but one is comfort, the other is commitment. And sometimes we confuse the two. We say we're taking care of ourselves, but what we're really doing is avoiding the work. Real self love is not always soft. Sometimes it looks like structure. Sometimes it looks like accountability. Sometimes it looks like saying, this version of me is no longer allowed. Now, let's talk about the one many of us struggle with, how to stop abandoning yourself for approval. Why do you shrink so that others can be comfortable? Why do we say yes when our spirit is screaming no? Why do we stay where we are tolerated instead of where we are treasured? Because we were taught that being a good woman means being agreeable, being quiet, being available, being endlessly understanding. But nobody told us that every time you betray your own needs to keep the peace, you create a war inside yourself. And the truth, you don't need everybody to like you. You need you to like you. You cannot build a life on borrowed validation. Which brings me to this. We must rewrite the good woman narrative. A good woman is not one who is always tired but never complains. A good woman is not one who gives and gives until there's nothing left. A good woman is not one who sacrifices her mental health to prove loyalty. A good woman is whole. A good woman has boundaries. A good woman knows when to pour out and when to protect her cup. Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. Being loving doesn't mean being limitless. Sis, you are not holy because you're exhausted. Now, let's talk about this one gently. Why you deserve softness, not just strength. We celebrate strong women. And yes, strength is beautiful. But when did we decide that being strong means never resting, never crying, never asking for help? You are not a machine. You are a woman with a nervous system. You deserve soft mornings, safe spaces, gentle love, quiet healing, unrushed growth. You don't always, have to be in survival mode. You are allowed to live in peace, not just in performance. Now, here's the part that many of us struggle with the most: choosing you without feeling selfish. Let me say this clearly: choosing yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot heal others while bleeding silently. You cannot build a meaningful life while constantly abandoning yourself. Sometimes choosing you will look like saying no, without a long explanation, walking away from what no longer aligns, outgrowing spaces you once prayed for, prioritizing your mental health over people's expectations. And yes, some people will be uncomfortable, but your peace is not negotiable. Sis, God did not create you to disappear inside everybody else's needs. No. Self love without guilt means resting without apology, growing without permission, healing without shame, choosing peace over people pleasing. It means understanding that loving yourself does not make you less loving, it makes you healthier. So today, I want to ask you, where have you been abandoning yourself to be accepted? Where have you been choosing approval over alignment? Where have you been strong when what you really need was softness? Let this video be your reminder. You're allowed to take your space in your own life. Love yourself. Not loudly, not perfectly, but honestly. Care for yourself not only when it's comfortable, but when it's necessary. Choose yourself, not out of pride, but out of purpose. Because when you finally stop shrinking, you don't become selfish, you become free. And sis, freedom looks good on you. So like, share, and comment. I'd like to hear from you. Yes. And send these to your sis. And let me know how you guys are enjoying this. Let's love ourselves this year.